August 8, 2020. In dreams, I was in a place where there were many people. They walked from one side to the other. They had a book in their hands, a book that they would open it, fix their eyes on it, and then close it and look around, but they looked confused. I saw other people too come to that place. They put their hands on their heads and said, "But what happened?" That's not how they explained it to me. I saw those who had the books approach those who were holding their heads. They began to talk among them. The ones from the books told them, "It says this here, but I don't understand. Can you explain it to me?" Those who had their hands on their heads answered, "For many years we were told about the end of times, but not in this way. I don't even know when this process started. How can I explain it to you if I don't even understand it myself? I don't know why we came to this." The one who had a book asked him, "What religion are you from?" To which the other replied, "Seventh-day Adventist." "And how comes you don't understand?" replied the one with the book. The one that was holding his head answered, "Look, I went to many seminars. There were 3 official interpretations of the prophecy, but many more personal ones. So each one could choose to believe the one of his preference, and so it was done. Now we are confused. I don't know how to explain it to you." While watching this and listening to the dialogue, I saw a person approaching. It seemed that this person came from far. This looked tired, got closer to them, greeted them, and sat down on the ground to rest. I saw him take off his shoes. I saw blisters on his feet. He took a bottle of water from his bag and began to drink. He got up, decided to continue on his way, but one of those who had the book stopped him and said, "Please, explain to us what we are reading because I don't understand it." The walker told him, Tell me what you don't understand. These are the times." He told him, "I see it, and I see here that there are events. I look at the world, and I see some, but I don't know when the first one started, and I desire to know." The walker began to explain. He took the book of books out of his bag. They sat down to read. And this one, when explaining, I saw how the one with the book, he rejoiced. Then those who were grabbing their heads came closer and also listened. The traveler's words were so clear that they began to understand. But something happened. The ones with the books looked happy, and the ones grabbing their heads became unhappy and were filled with anger. They began to refute the traveler's explanations. He stood up between the 2 groups of listeners and exclaimed, "This is a decision. Whoever sees the fruit and is hungry and desires to eat it, he will stretch out his hand and take it. But the one who sees the fruit and is not hungry, he will pass by its side and will not take it." Everyone looked at each other in astonishment, and their astonishment was even more when, in front of all of them, the traveler was transformed into a tree, very strong, leafy, enormous. Its trunk was very large and with abundant fruit. Those who had the books got closer under the shade of that huge tree. Those who had their hands on their heads, I saw them standing, looking at that tree. Soon a voice was heard saying, "Whoever is hungry, eat." All those who were under the tree, those with the books, picked the fruit and sat under the shade of that enormous tree to eat it. The other group, the ones with their hands on their heads, were looking at them, but they didn't come closer. One of them said, "I'm not hungry. What I want is to understand." To which the others in his group said in unison, "We also want to understand. We are not hungry." So they left that place one by one, until only those groups remained, only the ones with the books under the tree. They were there under that leafy tree. I saw them delighted while they ate the fruit. They looked happy. They were secure. Soon a voice said, "Open the book." They opened it, and water began to come out of it, and they began to drink it. Their faces began to light up as they drank the precious liquid. Then the voice said, "Devour the book." Thus I saw how each book turned into a very delicious bread on sight, and they ate it with great pleasure. Then I saw that these began to be wise in many things, and they spoke among themselves with great wisdom. There they remained, learning every detail that was essential for them to learn. The scene changed, and I could see again the group that had left before. They were on a road. They were fatigued by the sun and thirsty of thirst. These fell one by one to the ground due to the immense heat and lack of water. There, dehydrated, with quartered lips and sunken eyes, they cried out for help without it reaching them. There I saw how each one stopped breathing, and one of them, before stopping breathing, said, "Oh, why didn't I stay under the tree?" These were his last words, and he stopped breathing. At that moment, I heard a voice that said to me, 1 Kings chapter 19, Psalms chapter 49, and Revelations chapter 3, verse 7 to 12. At that moment, there I woke up.